Under the blinding lights of 1,000 civilizations, the Galactic Concord had endured for 9,900 years. It was ancient, binding, sacred, and absolute. The law was simple: no race was to provoke Earth. Not out of charity, but out of memory. The Concord was signed in silence after the last time humanity was roused. The result was a trail of empires reduced to whispers, their ruins now part of ghost stories passed down across nebulae. But the Galactic Empire had grown arrogant. It rose long after that silence fell. Its leaders viewed Earth as an old relic, tucked away in a quiet corner of the stars. They had never seen what happened when Earth was stirred. They had no scars from the last time humans made war. The Empire's violations began with soft incursions, blockades, sanctions, strategic containment maneuvers. Small things that brushed against the letter of the law without tearing it. Earth watched. It didn't respond. Diplomats met behind sealed doors. Analysts whispered of patterns repeating. Military strategists stared at data that felt eerily familiar. Then the Empire got bold. It surrounded a human-aligned colony, claiming mining rights. A diplomatic shuttle was shot down, by accident. Earth still didn't move. Then they insulted a human envoy before the Galactic Council, publicly on broadcast feed. The ambassador was shoved, laughed at, and dismissed from the chamber. The feed cut just as he reached for the data crystal in his pocket. The crystal contained protocols, not warnings, activations. Within a week, a small Earth-affiliated planet named Dorian 3 was hit. Imperial troops landed, citing a pacification clause. Children were rounded up. One of them, age 6, was killed during crowd control. The official statement blamed a civilian panic. The footage showed something else. A tall Imperial officer slapping a boy so hard he flew into a wall. That footage was never aired on the Empire's networks, but Earth didn't need to broadcast it. They sent a single file to the Council. The caption read, Article 1 breach. Treaty scrolls were unsealed, digital seals broken with authorization keys long thought ceremonial. Across Earth's network, old nodes activated. Not military ones. Historical ones. Files about operatives listed only by codename. Missions so deep even Earth's newer generations believed them myths. The Boogeyman and Baba Yaga. Whispers began before action. Soldiers of various species traded rumors. In the old days, before peace, there were two humans you never wanted to see. One wore a tattered flag over armor blacker than void, eyes cold as vacuum. The other walked barefoot through slaughter, laughing. They were surgical nightmares, ghosts with pulse weapons and no mercy. Alien veterans remembered planets going dark overnight. No invasion fleets. No sieges. Just silence. Then screams. Then ash. Entire planetary command structures erased with such precision it looked like the planets had never been occupied. The Boogeyman and Baba Yaga weren't legends to them. They were warnings etched in training manuals. If you see a flag-wrapped figure walking toward you, shoot yourself. The Empire laughed off the fear. Their rulers called it primitive superstition. Their generals doubled fleet movements and issued statements of confidence. And then Earth sent a message to the Council. Withdraw your forces. We will not warn again. The room filled with laughter. The Council's Imperial delegate called it a tantrum from a dying ape species. He was dead an hour later. Not from a weapon. From a protein-triggered neurological collapse caused by a microdot inserted into his datapad, an extinct human intelligence op technique no longer taught. His guards were found unconscious. Not dead. Message received. Earth went dark. Not in panic, by design. Communications ceased. Civilian chatter halted. Their networks closed like iron doors. Old stations blinked to life, inactive since before the Concord was signed. Deep beneath Earth's polar ice, two cryopods opened. No alarms. No fanfare. Just steam and silence. A general handed a man a tattered flag. He draped it over his armor. Next to him, A woman in a sleek black bodysuit smiled with bloodless lips. They didn't speak. The general simply said, "Go." Across Earth's orbit, robotic ships aligned. Not to attack. To clear a path. They knew what followed didn't need support. It just needed to land. The Boogeyman and Baba Yaga walked out of that corridor flanked by machines that wouldn't dare step ahead of them. They passed systems and protocols built centuries ago, none of which tried to stop them. Their biometrics triggered no alert. Everything recognized them as not soldiers, but keys. Elsewhere, alien surveillance posts reported anomalies. Outposts losing contact. Scout ships picking up encrypted Earth codes not used in 2,000 years. One Imperial battle group found their navigation systems scrambled. Not from hacking, but from their own AIs refusing to process coordinate. Internal logs read, "Human protocol detected. Navigation error, self-preservation override." Fleet Command dismissed it as a glitch, until the battle group disappeared. No explosion. No escape pods. Just gone. Empty orbit. Energy residue traced to an Earth stealth drive last seen during the Eradication Wars, wars the Empire had buried under classified files labeled "Never Disclose." In panic, the Empire deployed 3 fleets to human space. Not to attack, but to establish presence. Every ship arrived with full armaments, expecting confrontation. What they got was silence. Then, on the 3rd day, a patrol ship picked up an audio signal. It was old. Analog. Carried on a narrow beam so primitive their modern systems barely recognized it. It played one sentence. Male voice. Calm. Cold. "You broke the peace. We broke the lock." That same day, footage leaked from the Empire's top command moon. An elite guard team was found unconscious. On the wall above them, etched in burn marks, a symbol of Earth, flanked by 2 words in human standard. "Wake up." The galaxy's analysts realized too late what it meant. Humanity had never disarmed. They had waited. And now, with a simple provocation, they had opened a vault the rest of the stars had forgotten even existed. Not to launch a war. Not yet. To unleash what everyone had hoped was long gone. The Boogeyman and Baba Yaga didn't move like soldiers. They didn't negotiate. They didn't posture. They executed. And the message left behind at every site was always the same. No empires. No masters. Only warnings. On a backwater planet used as a listening post, an officer from the insectoid Varl species found a datapad left on his bunk. He hadn't seen anyone enter. It contained a single file, a blurry image of a man with a flag on his back walking through fire. No metadata. Just a title. "He's coming." The Varl officer defected that night. His last words were, "We mocked the ghost." They woke them. By the end of the week, 23 Empire-affiliated listening posts had gone dark. Entire planetary AI cores refused commands citing Earth-class overrides. Ships scrambled to reroute. Resources redirected. Fear spread faster than gunfire. And in the Empire's capital, the Empress herself stared at a report detailing one final message intercepted between Earth command centers. Both assets active. Zero delay. All systems aligned. Protocol Fulcrum initiated. She whispered the old name like a curse. Baba Yaga. They didn't know where the first strike happened. Only that it did. An outpost near the fringe, built into the crust of a lifeless moon, sent a distress signal that cut off mid-transmission. No signs of attack. No energy discharge. Just silence. When a follow-up drone arrived, it found the facility completely intact. Doors sealed, systems running, but not a single lifeform inside. Every soldier gone. Every AI core melted. One phrase scrawled into a wall in ancient Earth script. Knock knock. Empire officials dismissed it as sabotage. Pirates. Internal error. The official statement said, containment achieved. But commanders across nearby sectors began altering patrol route. They didn't say it out loud, but their fleets drifted further from the human border. Just in case. The next strike was clearer. A military drydock exploded. From the inside, black box data showed nothing on approach. Internal sensors triggered nanosecond disruptions. Then flash-sealed bulkheads melted and structural beams folded inward as if twisted by a black hole. There was no detonation signature. No weapons fire. Just an energy spike consistent with deep-core kinetic distortion, tech banned by every known civilization. Except one. A single frame from internal security showed two human silhouettes walking side by side through a firestorm. One held a flag. The other had white hair and no armor. She was smiling. Within hours, the image spread across black markets, encrypted comms, and military channels. Soldiers on the edge started calling in sick. Commanders scheduled unnecessary redeployment. The Empire tried to crush the panic, but the signal was viral. And then came the broadcast. Encrypted transmissions hijacked galactic news cycles. Every screen, every hologram, even personal neural feeds played the same footage. An alien commander mocking Earth's last warning. Then the sound of his own voice choking as his lungs collapsed. Then silence. Then a voiceover. You brought this upon yourselves. They still didn't know names. They didn't need to. The myths had returned. And they weren't subtle anymore. On Vexor 9, an Empire supply world, 20,000 soldiers vanished. The planet was left intact. Every building untouched. But the air was filled with Earth-based compounds that triggered nausea and hallucinations in non-human physiology. On repeat, a single Earth song played, an old Earth nursery rhyme, twisted and slowed. Soldiers who resisted began turning weapons on each other. A planetary AI tried to intervene. It crashed itself instead. Empire leadership was desperate. They called emergency meetings, internal investigations, blamed rival factions, issued bounties. They wanted answers. All they got were patterns. These weren't random attacks. They were methodical, calculated, surgical. Earth hadn't sent warships or armies. They'd sent two operatives, and that was all it took. One facility tried to bait them. They placed human prisoners in a decoy prison. Booby-trapped it with half the Empire's defensive tech. It took the operatives 2 minutes. The doors didn't blow, they melted. Guards didn't fire, they ran. One of the prisoners described the woman's voice. She just said, "You shouldn't have touched the kids." That was before she destroyed the surveillance grid with a whisper to the wall. Another planet, central to Imperial intelligence coordination, suddenly experienced power loss. A backup generator activated. It lasted 3 seconds before overloading and frying every terminal. On the roof of the primary tower, 3 Empire flags were found shredded. In their place, a single piece of cloth. Red, white, and blue. Singed but untouched. Every fleet deployment after that was reactionary. No strategy. Just panic. The Empire was flailing, bleeding without being touched. Entire sectors stopped answering calls. Captains locked their ships in orbit and refused to disembark. Communications relays began replaying intercepted Earth signals, long-forgotten military codes that no one could decipher. Baba Yaga hit next. A cloning facility hidden beneath the crust of a captured moon lost connection for 6 hours. When scouts arrived, the clones were dead. Not killed. Erased. Every file, every sequence, every trace of their existence, gone. Wiped with Earth-origin virusware once believed extinct. The walls were coated in mirrored plating that reflected only one figure no matter the viewer's angle, a pale woman smiling with blood across her hands. One message was left on a preserved data rod. You think the Empire makes monsters. You forgot who taught you how. Empire morale collapsed. Recruitment stopped. Mutinies rose. Alien species defected. Border planets removed the Empire's banner and sent quiet transmissions to Earth, begging neutrality. Still, the operatives didn't stop. The Boogeyman walked into a planetary garrison holding 1,000 elite guard. Cameras caught him stepping through the front gate. They never caught him leaving. The entire base went dark. 3 hours later, only one signal emerged from orbit. A voice transmission. Calm. Clear. Next time, send more. The message played on loop across Empire systems for 6 days. Baba Yaga dismantled a bioweapons lab mid-deployment. She didn't use force. She used fear. Automated doors opened as she approached. Turrets refused to fire. AI cores shut themselves down before she arrived. Every scientist surrendered. She didn't accept. She let them run, and watched as one by one their own systems turned on them. Her presence altered everything. She was entropy with eyes. At the heart of the Empire, panic became policy. Officials no longer issued orders. They issued prayers. Fleet command dissolved into regional nodes. The Empress herself ordered the cessation of all action involving Earth or its colonies. The Galactic Council issued a retraction, a public apology, a full withdrawal. No response came. The two operatives were never captured, never found. They weren't hiding. They just didn't care to be seen. They left behind no footprints, no energy trails, no evidence of travel. Only impact. Humanity never declared war. They didn't need to. The galaxy understood. A month after the Empire's retreat, a small message was sent from Earth to all parties. It wasn't encrypted. It wasn't long. 9,900 years of peace. You wanted war. We sent memory. The phrase became legend. No official history book recorded the names of the operative. No footage showed their full faces. But across every alien world, children were taught not to provoke humans. Not because they'd fight, but because they wouldn't have to. The Boogeyman and Baba Yaga faded again into whispers. Earth returned to silence. Its systems went dormant. Its borders reopened only to trade. And yet, somewhere in the core of every civilization, hidden beneath locked doors and firewalls, sat a protocol written in fear. Do not disturb Earth. Do not provoke humans. Do not wake the legends. Because once the Galactic Empire tried. And it no longer exists.